Good day, strategy gamers, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play series, War in the East 2, Stalingrad to Berlin as the Soviets. This is episode 62, and we keep chugging right along. The last 10 episodes or so have been very action-packed as we push towards Riga and attempt to cut off Army Group North. I'm starting once again in the ground movement phase because we have just been beset by bad weather. It has been raining this week, last week, and it's also going to be raining next week is what's in the forecast. So really there hasn't been too much to cover there, which is a shame because what I could really use right now are a lot of sorties to try to do air interdiction on these Axis forces, to try to reduce their movement ability, to try to cut them off or cut off more units, and to try to reach this Narva River before some of them can even escape past there. So it's a bit of a shame that the weather's been like that, but I also don't want to just throw away our aircraft operational losses, especially as we saw a little bit earlier in 1943. We had some pretty heavy losses with our fighter airframes specifically, as they're just kind of getting torn to shreds by the Axis fighter squadrons and air superiority missions. So in the previous episode, we actually saw that what the Germans did was they were quite aggressive around Leningrad, which, like I mentioned at the time, was a complete surprise. But I suppose they probably figured, things are looking pretty bad for us. Maybe if we capture Leningrad, we can hold out longer because of the port and kind of throw the Soviet forces into disarray because the AI was right about this. We did weaken our northern frontier around Leningrad to bring forces south on the push towards Peskov. And I think if they would have broken through into some of these areas, it would have been pretty interesting. Probably wouldn't have changed the outcome of too much, but it certainly would have been a twist in the tail that we weren't expecting and would have been something we would have had to deal with. So let's just go through a couple of these and take a look. So here they ended up attacking twice, and they took heavy losses while doing this, right? Because it's pretty much 1-to-1. I mean, 40,000 men, 36,000 men, and the losses were 10-to-1, and they lost half of their armor, which were Stugs, it looks like, based off the Stug batteries that are attached here. So I mean, it was not good for them. And then they followed up the attack once more, this time bringing in the 6th Panzer Division, and they lost a further 12 armor. We lost 19, to be fair, probably part of this tank brigade that we had attached here. So they didn't just try once, they really made an effort of it. You can see they had 45 Tigers in the 6th Panzer Division, so I mean that's a pretty significant force that came at us. But I think really because of those fortification levels we had, the 700 guns that were probably in place, they just didn't stand too much of a chance. I mean, the armor that we had, half of them, more than half of our armor were light variants, the Stuart, which is a pretty light tank, and the T-70. I bet if we look at ground combat, really, so the Tigers were pretty successful here. Destroyed 5 with AP shells. Panzer IIIs destroyed 4. Our armor didn't really destroy anything with armor-piercing shells. So I would bet, and I was wrong, I was thinking that it must have been our field guns, but it doesn't look like it. So then that makes me wonder if maybe it wasn't our air superiority here that had that impact. We should be able to see that though. Give me a minute here. So, no, none were destroyed by air. Most of them were destroyed while retreating from the attack though. So they got up to 375 yards, then had to retreat. They actually, this is pretty impressive, they only lost 1 Panzer Mark IV in the assault. The rest were lost as they had to retreat. Interesting. We'll keep going through a couple of these. I mean, an even worse story for them here, right? We lost 300, they lost 1,400, and this time they actually had much better odds than they did in the previous hex. And then they followed up once again with the 6 Panzer attacking here. And I do wonder if maybe that 6 Panzer, if they would have focused on just one of those hexes, if they maybe would have had more luck or had a better shot at breaking through. Here they only made one attempt, but again, 1,000 men to 140. Those are just horrible odds for the Germans here. Look at this, 2,700 men lost to 600. They lost 23 armor compared to R16. And I'm curious what those were, because it wasn't the 6 Panzer this time, so these were probably Stug detachments. Okay. Yeah, so Martyr 2s and Stugs are really what was hit here. And when we look at the second attack, 260 men. They made it to 300 yards, but they had much fewer casualties. Looking over here, 2,000 to 500. Another 8 armor lost, then 10 armor lost. And again, Stug battalions, it looks like. It's just incredible. Here they lost 1,400 to our 300. All over the board. They did push back our rifle brigade here, which we have been using to cut off this rail line. Even though we've now taken Peskov, we still wanted to cut this off, force that juncture a little bit. And that worked. I mean, we lost some men, but really wasn't too bad. So that's really what happened last turn, and as a result, I'm definitely going to leave my forces in their current positions in case there is another counterattack like that. What I might do is look to see if I take this unit. Well, no, the number of men they have, I'm going to keep them in reserve. Probably okay here is a bit of a concern, though. Only 14 defensive value against, it's effectively what, 44? That's not so great. And I think that's because we actually lost a fortification level there. So we've got pretty much each unit contributing about 5 to the defensive value. And these units, their TOE, if we look at them, they're all getting, I mean, these guys are at 50% complement right now. So we should think about what we're going to do here. I think I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. We're going to retreat. There's just no good reason for us to put ourselves in this position where they can attack us with those 3 hexes. And be so vulnerable like that. So we're just going to retreat and try to recover the fortification level here in this hex. Is what we're going to do. We'll leave this guy in reserve, because I don't know that they're necessarily going to take this hex next turn. So then as we look further south, I think we're good with everything we got here. Again, I don't want to advance up here. These guys, it's not yet time for them to advance. If we cut off the Narva River here in the next couple of turns, then we'll see a lot of opportunity to put pressure on these forces, and what we're going to do is just, we're going to simultaneously, once we have this pocket established, constrict it all at once. Even if it means we only have maybe like 1-to-1 odds or something like that on them. But we're just going to constrict it all at the same time from all sides. So that way they can't keep repositioning forces where we're trying to build up and amass forces for our attacks. So down here, let's actually just immediately divert our attention to say, okay, first priority is getting to the Narva River. So let's just begin immediately with that and see how far up here we can get. And I'm really going to push these guys on the march. I'm hoping the 250th can make it up there just fine. That's 9 defensive value. What do we have over here? They can't make it quite up there. Okay. So let's just, oh, we're not going to have enough to attack this turn. we're pushing up here as quickly as we can. Let's see. Get those guys up there. Go. Now we'll start swinging some of these units this way. Took a depot there, that's nice. Really pushing here. And I've left a gap because I did that a little recklessly. Okay, so we're going to have a gap there in the line for a moment. Maybe what we do is we bring these guys over. There we go. That works. So there. This is that rifle brigade that we've just been throwing to the wolves. So we'll let them finally regroup a little. Here I'm gonna have to start taking up some of these HQs further to the front. Okay, that's good. This entire stack. I'm gonna keep them on this road. Go. And then I think, sorry, one more HQ here. There we go. I think everything else now we're going to use to push south. Not south per se, but they're going to go south of Lake Peskov, and they're going to head northwest, frankly, is what it can best be described as. Move these guys up here. There we go. Oh, is that actually... That's just part of a river there. Okay. I didn't notice that with the terrain. So in that case, should let us get some of those guys up there a little faster. This gives us 14 to 5. We don't have enough movement to go for it. You're on refit. We're going to let both of you stay on refit. Actually, took you off a little early, but you're going to be okay to go right into ready status. Do that with anyone else? Don't think so. Okay. Yeah, so then what we're going to do here is just move west and north as quickly as we can. This army will have go here. You should be way further south, so we're going to have you go due west. You should be more north. So you can come up there. Oh wow. This feels like 1941 plane is the axis. We're just taking as much territory as we can right now. Alright, we have now cut them off technically. North of Riga. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to stop for a minute. What I'd really like to do is pretty much that anything is in line with Riga and south here. I want to use them to just immediately start pressing south as much as we can before they get themselves situated to defend. And just all along this line, we are going to start looking now at advancing. So we'll keep taking these units and having a good number of them move north, but a lot of these, especially the armor, I'm probably going to have move south. We'll take some of these, like this 4th Guards army. I'm going to use here. Let's see. Infantry unit can come up here. And then, let's see. I have the 5th Guards actually take Riga. And then they'll keep pushing on along here. So we captured that airbase and depot. Fifth Guards here can come down south. Look at this. They have just completely abandoned any defense here. This is really good. This is really good. The 38th Army, you can push north here. There we go. Speaking of, let's get these HQs moving forward. You're on refit, but you're going to follow the HQ. That's not your army, so I assumed too quickly there. 3rd Shock Army is going to go south. Yeah, we'll have 3rd Shock Army go south. Let's see here. There we go. 1st Shock Army is going north. Which then means I need to move this HQ up here. There. That's the 1st Shock Army. Since this became so open here, this is a great opportunity for me to try to regroup some of my forces into the appropriate armies. Because really doing this management by army is a pretty effective way of doing it. These guys I'm going to have to reassign to new armies though. So let's take a look at that now while we have a chance. Oh, there are not many options. A 4th Army looks like they might be an option. Let's see where the 4th Army is. They're 7 hexes away. 4th Army, okay. There's the rest of the 4th Army over here. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan, but I guess I can move these guys and have them come in between here. So let's do that. 4th Army is going to be this little gap here. I'm going to reassign all these guys to the 4th Army. There we go. Last one here. Perfect. Now, anything that is 4th Army is going to come down here. So we captured that depot, which is really good. Take this other mechanized unit down to here. Took that hex. This mechanized core. Wait, do I want to push that far? I think I'm going to. We're really getting in behind them here. 4th Army Rifle Corps is going to come down here. Look at that. What I can do is I can now move up that infantry unit, that infantry unit there, part of the 2nd Tank Army, though. Trusted the colors too much. Right, so that's 4th Army. 4th Army's making a push. They're making a push. 2nd Shock Army then is just gonna hold. Gonna have to probably take these 2 rifle brigades here. Put that HQ down, by the way. Let's toss this guy to the 2nd Shock Army. Okay. Alright. And then we'll try to put some pressure on them if we can. Yeah, so let's attack here. Alright, and they retreated. That's good. But now it's not quite so simple for them to just attack here. And I forgot major and ground support off the weather's too crappy right now. And frankly, we just don't even need it. At this point in time. Not saying that'll always be the case, but right now we don't need it. Might need it in the south a little bit. Here we have the 43rd Army. And the 3rd Shock Army. So let's... 3rd Shock Army I've already moved south. So the 43rd Army, that's up here. Let's have the 43rd Army here come south. There we go. Third Army. There's one more. You can come over here. So that's the 43rd Army, which is advancing next to the 4th Army. Now I need something over here. For that, we might use... Boy, the 2nd Shock Army's getting all messed up. Let's see if we can put you guys in the 2nd Tank Army. And then we'll have the 2nd Tank Army go this direction. Yeah, it's going to put you over capacity, but I'm going to do it. Toss you. 2nd Tank Army. Okay. So 2nd Tank Army is going to focus on pushing up here. Or actually, no. They're going to go due west. Let's see what they're going to do. Boy, can I get that far south successfully? Look at that. Look at that. Opening myself up there a little, but I'm going to do it. Have these guys go over here. So I do want to try to cut off these units too. I mean, we're getting a little spoiled thinking about taking like the entire army group north and having them encircled, but it's still really valuable if there are 3 Axis divisions here, and maybe they're not full divisions, but regardless, 3 Axis elements that we can cut off. That's pretty impactful. You're just in the wrong spot. The 1st Tank Army can help me out here too. Pretty much all the tanks are going to be advancing here. 3rd Shock Army is going south. I'm going to put you in the 1st Tank Army. Okay. I'm not anticipating a counterattack to try to cut off these units or anything like that, but still having them all a little bit more tight-knit in this line going south to have taken that airfield and such, I think is going to be useful. First Tank Army, you're part of that too, so you can come down here. You can advance out this way. So we took another depot. First Tank Army once again. I think we'll just have you guys go over here. There'll be a little bit of a buffer to this direction, so we're getting in behind them now too. Excellent. Just absolutely excellent. Third Shock Army goes to Third Shock Army. Oh, here we have a tank port we can use to push north. That's nice. And another, it looks like. Come up here and try to connect those forces. This Rifle Brigade is part of the 43rd Army, so we're going to bring them south. It is incredible to think about the concentration of forces we had in that one line driving towards Riga. Boy, did it work. 101st Rifle Brigade. Go over here and start catching up. Alright. Alright. 5th Guards Tank Army, come over here. Other HQs do we have? That's the Klenin and the Volkov front, so we're fine. You're good. This is looking pretty nice, guys. This is looking pretty nice. 2nd Shock Army belongs over here. And 3rd Shock Army belongs down here. Did I get them wrong? I did. So let's see if I can't just reassign them here. Put them in the 4th Guards Army. A little bit of an easy way out there, but it works. Alright, so a little vulnerable if they counterattack here, but honestly, I'm not expecting that they have some massive forces that they have here to be able to counterattack. And the other thing is that we are getting very, very close to being able to cut off and encircle these units right here. So my expectation is that they try to withdraw. If they don't, they're going to lose. So that's the 26th Infantry Division, the 87th Infantry Division, 3 85th. So 3, maybe 4 infantry divisions they'll lose if we can cut these guys off. That's a pretty big deal, and that's not to be understated. So, just wow. This is fantastic. Feels so good to be in this position compared to the 1941 campaign that I'm playing. Like this just feels good. We have a few railroads to repair. My goodness, look at this situation. Where to even begin? Where to begin? I think I'm going to take you here. Going to repair this way and up this way, and yeah, we're going to go this way and up. Pretty much we want to connect to Riga as quickly as we can. So you here. A lot of work to do. Whole lot of work to do. Got a couple guys on refit here that I missed. No, I talked about these guys. I remember now. We're just going to do this. We're going to move them north. I wonder, starting to question now if I'm sending too many forces north. And I think I am. That might be a little bit of a mistake on my part, and we should have pushed more south. But I'd really like to encircle and close this pocket as quickly as possible. Not close, but just eliminate. Because then if I can free up all, I mean, this is like 3 fronts worth of armies. That would just be incredible. Because we are looking just a little sparse here, whereas instead I'd really like to be able to push south more. Let's get back to it. Down here, like I was mentioning, we're going to be able to be a little more aggressive now. Take this unit here. Let's move you south. You guys can go south. 34th Army. See, I'm going to do some management here of the armies and get them all together. Don't think I want to. Oof. It's a bit of a mess. So you can go there as part of the 5th Army. And we're going to set you to reserve in case this guy says he wants to counterattack. I don't know that he will, but I'm going to attack here, retreat at them, and we'll attack here. They held? Really? Kind of want to finish that off. Okay. Down here we have a lot of opportunity to push, so we're going to push. They held again. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Nope, that time they retreated. Did I miss, like, they had a reinforcer or anything? I don't think I did. Oh. It's a surprise. So let's go back. I mean, I want to push, but I also have to be realistic, right? We can't go up against a full infantry division and a full panzer division with what we got there. So sometimes you just accept that. And really, we're going to get a lot of help once we finally clear out this hex. Which is taking a while, I will say. It is taking a while. But we're going to keep kind of pushing them down. Really should have. Oh, no. He was in a perfect spot before. I don't know what the heck I'm doing there. Our armies are not quite as clear down here. These two need to stay on refit for sure. They're a good distance away. Okay. The Minsk Front. Oh, the Minsk Front. So we have a couple of areas here we could go after. Let's see. Are we going to? Yeah, we're going to. Remaining division was committed. Wasn't enough though. They lost a fair amount there. Here. Boy, 40 attacking combat value. But as long as I can keep these guys tied up like this, I guess that's pretty good, because I'd rather have them be here than over here in between us and Königsberg. Right? I honestly care a little bit more about getting to Königsberg than I do Minsk. Because from Königsberg we can launch into Warsaw, Germany proper. it's very impactful, and this is also where so many of their supplies run through here, right? It's just, that's going to cause severe bottlenecks when we get to that point. So, here's my other rail repair unit, by the way. Let's go and start repairing these lines. Go, and then that will continue down, and that's really going to help. Do I have my soft vector on supplies? I do. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna stay tight here. Spread a little thin on this side of things. Down here we had pushed a couple turns ago, but we're gonna hold. I need to fix some of this here. 24th Rifle Corps is going to go to I think the 33rd Army. And let's see this guy. Oh, there just really aren't any good options, are there? It's the 15th Tank Corps we're going to put to the 49th Army. Okay. Then the 49th Army, you're going to go where we just freed up that space. Should be the 3rd Guard Tank Army. So that helps a little. Still have this guy down here. You are at capacity. You are at capacity. You are not at capacity. 4th Shock Army. That's where I need to move units to. So we're going to take you to the 4th Shock Army. You go to the 4th Shock Army. You now go to the 41st Army. This is a heck of a domino operation here. Then you should now find room in the 20th Army. It's not great, but it's better. Okay. So now that that's all done, over here, some of these guys, I think we can, he's on reserve, so he's actually, me of a week ago was smart there. You're in a good spot. This rifle division, we're going to keep on refit. Here we have refit and reserve, that's fine. Tempted to push here. Don't know if we're going to. I feel like I did just a turn or two ago. Can't remember if it's last turn or 2 turns ago. But I think they had the Totenkopfestes Panzer Grenadier Division in support here, which is really smart of them. It's really smart. So I think this might just be, I mean, really, it's, all of this is going to stay a little static. And that's fine, because they have so many full divisions, and specifically motorized and panzer divisions in this area, that we're really just kind of forcing them to say, listen, you got to keep them here, or then we're going to push through to Minsk. Which then means they're not going to be fighting these guys that we have breaking through where Army Group North used to be. So it's, when we get to this part of the front, it might feel a little dull, but it is very much working as intended. Here we're going to take these two guys off of refit. Let's see where we can deploy them to the best effect. I think probably south as we keep pushing in that direction. Trying to get to Kursk. So this now gives us 26 to 13. I don't know that I want to do it yet. Especially if they've got units that are going to be in reserve there. I think I might hold in that part for now. Instead, what I'll do is I'll take these guys and attack. And retreat it. So that was successful. Now, I think the question is, can I move all of these guys forward? So now we can attack here. Push them back. So that's good. Take these guys south. Can I attack here now? Ooh, did they hold? They held. Darn it. Lost 20 armor in that. It's not the greatest. Take these guys forward. And we'll take the 173rd forward. We're going to have them attack here now. That time they retreated. These guys are going to push. Yeah, we're going to get to Kursk. Not this turn, of course, but we're going to get there pretty soon. Because we've got this domino effect where we're just rolling now. Just going to move them forward for now. Over here, I'm going to take this unit up. We're going to push here straight towards Kursk. I want to force them into trying to defend Kursk itself, so then I can collapse on them from the north. We weren't successful in that attack. Which is fine, it happens. It's nothing bad. Thinking if we want to... I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be brave. We're gonna go right up to them. We're gonna attack. Not only gonna move into a dangerous spot, we're gonna keep pressing. I take heavier casualties than we would otherwise, but we're gonna keep pressing. And then let's see if I can't get some support units in here. So we can attach this tank brigade, which should help considerably. They already have a tank regiment and they have an anti-tank regiment. That gets us up to 8, which is plenty. Well, I shouldn't say plenty. They can outnumber us, but I don't think they will, because they need to save their strength to defend. You know what I'm going to do actually is going to move these guys south. And then I'm going to do this domino thing. And I just move them over. So we maintain our front. We have plenty to defend against here. The 7th Panzer, honestly, if they attack anywhere, they can break through. It's just a known quantity, but we have to give them so many challenges to solve for that they don't have anywhere to use it without weakening another part of the front. So that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to be tempted into attacking here, though. We could win. It might feel really good, but I really feel like they either have a unit down here that would help with the defense, or even the 7th Panzer, and I don't want them pressing forward and actually counterattacking into our Yule, so I'm going to leave that be. But what I will do is over here, I'll play some games with them. We'll attack here. First Romanian Cavalry Division was committed. We still managed to push them back, though. And then we'll take this guy and attack here. Retreat at them as well. Good. So at least get some on the back foot a little with those units. This cavalry corps probably doesn't need to be on refit anymore. Maybe they do. They do. They do, but they're getting there. And yeah, I'm not going to attack here because, again, I'm pretty sure the Totenkopf Festus Panzer Grenadier Division is sitting in reserve, just ready to come in and wallop us. So we're going to hold on that. Same thing up here, they're on reserve for us. Yes, we're having a lot of success here going towards Kursk. I mean, we're only 2 hexes away from Kursk now, which, hey, guys, we're behind schedule on Kursk. I'll admit that, but we're also behind schedule on Kharkov. But boy, did we crush it up here in the north. And we're going to keep pushing. It's been a heck of an episode. Can't wait for the next one to go through the southern half of the front and see if we can replicate anything like this down by Odessa, down by Crimea. 'Cause remember, we took Odessa now. So really that can be a good launching pad for us to keep going. So with that, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please leave them in the comments section. As always, really appreciate hearing from you guys. Thank you for your continued support of the channel, the videos, and this fantastic game. A little bit of housekeeping for you too. I'm going to be coming out with a Gary Grigsby War in the West series in the next couple of weeks. I don't think I'll have it ready in the next week, but probably 2 or 3 weeks from now we'll start seeing videos of War in the West. Going back in time a little bit, that was the release that Gary Grigsby's series had prior to War in the East too. But like I told you guys a couple months ago, I've been working on myself trying to learn that game. I've also been working on War in the Pacific, but we're going to jump into Gary Grigsby's War in the West here in the next couple of weeks. You may have noticed the last 2 weeks we haven't had any Star Wars Rebellion updates. The save actually is not working out for me. So I'm trying to work through and do a little bit of debugging on that 1998 game. So if I can get that working again, we'll start publishing videos on it again. But for now, I don't have any more updates for you just because I can't get back to the save that I had. So a couple of changes there coming to the channel and some new content to look forward to with a new series with Gary Grigsby's War in the West coming soon. With that, strategy gamers, as always, hoping you have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye now.